Did you know that the key to overcoming life's greatest challenges has been within reach for over 2,000 years? Imagine confronting every adversity with a calm so steady nothing can shake it. This isn't just a dream, it's a timeless philosophy, as relevant today as it was centuries ago. The secret is ready for you to discover. Join us on this transformative journey right now. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. It means a lot to us. Thank you for your support. Let's dive in. Number 1. Focus on what you can control. In life, how many times have we felt stuck, as if being swept away by forces beyond our control? Yet Stoic philosophy teaches us a simple but powerful truth. True strength lies in our response, not in external circumstances. Imagine you're at the airport and your flight is delayed due to bad weather. You can't change the storm, and getting angry or complaining won't make the plane take off any sooner. But what you can control is yourself. You can choose how to spend that time: reading a book you love, planning the week ahead, or simply sitting quietly and savoring a moment of peace. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "Where will I find good and evil? In myself, in my choices." This is more than just a quote. It's a profound reminder that every emotion, every action we take, originates from how we perceive and decide. Life is filled with events beyond our reach: the weather, the actions of others, even our own health. But our ultimate power lies in how we respond. When you focus on what you can control, it feels like you're taking back the wheel of your life. Not only does this help you stay calm, but it also transforms adversity into an opportunity for growth. Today, take a few minutes to write down the challenges you're currently facing. For each one, ask yourself, what can I control here? If you can't change the situation, focus on how you react to it. Can't stop the rain? Carry an umbrella. Can't change someone's opinion? Change how you view the issue. When we shift our attention from what's out of reach to what's within our grasp, we don't just master our emotions, we also find the peace and strength to overcome any obstacle. This is the essence of freedom, the freedom that comes from within. Number 2, change your perspective. Life never stops presenting challenges and events, but Stoic philosophy teaches that events themselves are neither good nor bad. It's how we perceive and interpret them that determines our emotions and actions. Here's a profound lesson. It's not what happens to you that matters, but how you view it. Imagine a colleague criticizing your work. The natural reaction might be hurt feelings, defensiveness, or even anger. But if you pause and reflect, you might realize that the criticism wasn't meant to attack you, but to serve as a reminder to improve and grow. Feedback that we find hard to hear is often an opportunity for growth, if we're brave enough to listen. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens that disturbs people, but their judgment about those events." This statement holds liberating power. Events themselves are neutral and objective. The meaning we assign to them is entirely shaped by our perspective. This means we are not victims of our circumstances. We always have the choice to view events differently, thereby changing both our emotions and our actions. Think about situations you've labeled as failures or losses. Were they truly failures, or were they turning points that redirected you toward a better path? Losses can remind you to cherish what you still have. Rejections can open doors to places where you truly belong. Sometimes, the only thing that needs to change isn't the circumstance, but how you perceive it. Next time you face a challenge, pause and ask yourself, what does this situation really mean? Can I find a hidden positive here? For instance, when receiving criticism, try to see it as, this person may be trying to help me see what I've overlooked. Or, if a plan falls through, remind yourself, this is an opportunity to focus on something else that matters. Stoicism doesn't ask you to deny pain or difficulty. Instead, it encourages you to uncover deeper meaning in those experiences. It's this shift in perspective that helps you find strength and freedom, even in the most challenging circumstances. Remember, the world doesn't define you. How you choose to view the world defines who you are. This is the power of Stoicism, the ability to take control of your perspective, and through that, take control of your life. Number 3, live in harmony with nature. One of the core principles of Stoic philosophy is to live according to nature, not merely blending into the natural world, but aligning your actions with reason and your role within a greater whole. It's a reminder that each person's life doesn't exist in isolation, but is always interconnected with the community and the world around them. Consider this. Every meal you have on your table is not solely the result of your own efforts. It's the culmination of the work of farmers who grow the crops, drivers who transport the goods, and store workers who sell them. You may never meet these people, but your existence is deeply tied to their labor. Marcus Aurelius said, "Just as bees contribute to the hive, we are born to work for the common good." Stoicism encourages you to recognize your role in this greater whole. Living in harmony with nature means living with the awareness that you are part of a community, and your actions affect not only yourself, but also others. It emphasizes acting according to reason, not just doing what is easy or convenient, but doing what is right and aligned with the noble nature of humanity. Instead of seeing a meal as merely a means to satisfy hunger, practice gratitude for the profound connections behind it. When you work, think about how your efforts contribute to your colleagues, customers, or family. And when you help someone, remember that you're enriching the bonds of connection. Living according to nature doesn't mean abandoning yourself. It means understanding that you are not alone in this life. When you align with the greater whole, you not only find peace, but also discover a deeper sense of meaning in everything you do. Number 4, embrace discomfort to grow. Growth is an uncomfortable journey. It requires stepping out of your comfort zone and facing challenges that make you doubt your abilities. Yet, it is precisely in those uncomfortable moments that you grow the most. Think about a time when you avoided discomfort, an important conversation you hesitated to start, a challenge you refused to take on, or a fear you chose not to face. Choosing comfort might bring temporary relief, but it also keeps you confined within your own limits. On the other hand, every time you embrace discomfort, you open the door to building resilience and uncovering your true potential. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." These words remind us that obstacles are not the end, but the beginning. It is through difficulties that we grow. Muscles become stronger when challenged by weight, and the mind becomes sharper when faced with complex problems. Every obstacle is not just a test of endurance, but a lesson to understand yourself better. Imagine dealing with a colleague who frequently underperforms, affecting the whole team. It's an awkward situation, and you might want to avoid it to keep the peace. But instead of avoiding it, you decide to have an honest and constructive conversation. The result isn't just improved performance, but also personal growth in how you handle conflict. Growth doesn't come from grand actions all at once, but from meaningful small steps each day. Every week, challenge yourself with things that make you uncomfortable, such as expressing your opinions during a crowded meeting, doing something you fear failing at, like trying a new skill or starting an unfamiliar project, engaging in situations that require courage, such as talking to someone with opposing views. With every challenge, remember that discomfort is temporary, but the value you gain will last a lifetime. Even the smallest progress trains you to be braver, more confident, and more resilient. Reflect on this more deeply. What is truly holding you back? Is it the fear of rejection, failure, or not being good enough? When you step through that fear, you realize it's only a shadow in your mind. Obstacles are no longer barriers but launching pads for growth. Let every difficult moment serve as a reminder that you are moving closer to the best version of yourself. Growth never comes from ease, and the most beautiful parts of life always lie on the other side of fear. Number 5. Cultivate discipline. Discipline is often misunderstood as restriction or imposition, but in Stoic philosophy, discipline is not a burden. It is the foundation of freedom and progress. Only when you can control yourself are you truly free to shape your life the way you desire. Seneca once said, "No one is truly free who cannot command themselves." This teaching reminds us that discipline isn't about denying joy, but about achieving greater values. Small daily decisions, like sticking to a workout routine, maintaining healthy eating habits, or following through on your work plans, not only lay the groundwork for health and success, but also build the willpower needed to face greater challenges in life. Imagine setting a goal to improve your health by exercising regularly and eating well. While friends might tempt you with parties or indulgent snacks, you choose to resist and stick to your plan. At first, this might feel uncomfortable, but with each temptation overcome, you not only move closer to your goal, but also grow more confident in your ability to control yourself. Building discipline doesn't have to start with dramatic changes. Begin with small, manageable steps, such as limiting phone usage before bed to improve sleep and mental health, committing 10 minutes a day to reading or learning something new, setting a goal to drink enough water daily and tracking your progress. Most importantly, remember that discipline is a journey. Each time you resist a temptation or complete a challenging task, you're training your willpower muscle. Like physical exercise, this muscle grows stronger over time. Why is discipline so important? Because it gives you control. Control over your habits, your emotions, and how you spend your precious time. People without discipline are often at the mercy of temptation or circumstances, while disciplined individuals know how to guide themselves toward where they want to go. Life is a series of choices. Every disciplined choice is a step toward freedom and self-improvement. Let discipline become your loyal companion on this journey. Number 6. Turn obstacles into opportunities. Life always presents obstacles that, at first glance, seem like walls blocking your path. But in Stoic philosophy, every obstacle is a doorway, an opportunity to grow, redefine yourself, and uncover potential you never knew you had. Marcus Aurelius affirmed, "What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that the very things that cause you worry, frustration, or even fear can become the launching pad for your growth. Obstacles are not enemies. They are lessons to strengthen your inner resolve and opportunities to demonstrate your resilience. Imagine you've just lost your job, a shock that might leave you feeling lost or even hopeless. But if you look deeper, you may see this as a chance to reassess your career. Perhaps your old job no longer aligned with your values or goals. Now, you have the opportunity to learn a new skill, pursue a career you're passionate about, or even start your own business and create something unique. Successful people are not those who avoid difficulties, but those who turn them into stepping stones for greater achievements. Failures, rejections, and losses are often the strongest motivators for reaching extraordinary goals. The next time you face an obstacle, try to pause and analyze. Before letting emotions take over, ask yourself, what am I facing? Is this situation really as bad as it seems? Find deeper meaning. Write down at least one lesson or skill you can learn from this situation. For example, if you failed a project, consider improving your time management or teamwork skills. Transform into action. Use the obstacle as motivation for a positive action. For instance, after an argument, work on enhancing your communication skills or rebuilding the relationship. Imagine each obstacle as a large stone blocking your path. You can choose to stand there, feeling frustrated and stuck, or you can use that stone to build a staircase that lifts you higher. When you change your perspective, obstacles cease to be barriers and instead become foundations for your ascent. Difficulties are an essential part of life. They test your courage, perseverance, and adaptability, but they are also where you discover your inner strength. Remember, no path to success exists without challenges, and as you look back on your journey, you'll realize it was those very obstacles that helped you grow and brought you to the place you always longed for. Turn every barrier into an opportunity to rise higher, become stronger, and live a life you're proud of. Number 7. Embrace change as an inevitable part of life. Change is the natural flow of life, unavoidable and unstoppable. Everything in existence is in constant transformation: relationships, jobs, and even your own self. Stoic philosophy teaches that resisting change is not only futile, but also a source of much suffering. True peace emerges when you learn to accept change as an inseparable part of life. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept whatever comes to you, for it is part of the pattern of your destiny." Instead of resenting fate, he reminds us that every change, whether small or monumental, plays a role in the story of your life. A closed door might lead to an even greater one opening. An unexpected shift can offer the chance to discover yourself, build adaptability, and embark on a new and meaningful journey. Imagine you've just moved to a new city. The first few weeks might feel overwhelming: unfamiliar surroundings, loneliness, and homesickness. But this is also an opportunity to meet new people, explore a different environment, and create experiences you would never have had if you hadn't left your comfort zone. Practice mindfulness to embrace change. Focus on the present moment instead of worrying about the future or regretting the past. Take deep breaths and acknowledge that you are alive right now, in this moment. When facing change, view it positively by asking yourself, what can I learn from this situation? What opportunities might this bring for me? At the same time, let go of what you cannot hold on to. Everything in life is temporary, like a river that never stops flowing. Clinging to the past only holds you back and prevents you from experiencing the beauty ahead. Accepting change not only lightens your emotional burden, but also opens the door to growth and new opportunities, giving you the freedom to flow with life's natural rhythm. Why do we fear change? Because change often brings uncertainty. We cling to what's familiar because it feels safe. But in reality, change is life's greatest teacher. It shows us how to adapt, let go, and appreciate what we have. When you embrace change, you'll feel a sense of relief because you are no longer fighting against life's natural flow. You learn to let things come and go while maintaining your inner calm. Remember, life is a series of continuous movements. When you accept change as an essential part of life, you not only reduce suffering, but also open the door to growth and unexpected opportunities. This is the power of letting go and flowing with the current of life. Number 8. Reflect on life's finiteness. Memento Mori. Death is an inescapable reality, but in Stoic philosophy it is not something to fear. Instead, it serves as a powerful reminder to live life more fully. Recognizing that life is finite is not meant to bring despair, but to help you understand that every moment is precious, that time is an irreplaceable resource, and that the most important thing is not how long you live, but how well you live. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." These words are not a pessimistic warning, but an awakening. When you know that today could be your last, you might ask yourself, am I living in alignment with my values? Am I spending enough time with the people I love? Am I doing something truly meaningful? Or am I wasting time on trivial and meaningless things? Imagine spending a few minutes each day writing in a journal. If this were my last year, what would I do differently? Perhaps you would call a friend you haven't spoken to in years, spend more time playing with your children instead of staring at your phone, or finally start writing the book you've always dreamed of. These small actions not only enrich your life, but also leave a lasting impact on those around you. Begin each day by asking yourself, if today were my last day, would I be proud of how I've lived? If the answer is no, then ask, what can I do right now to change that? Practice gratitude by reflecting on the previous day and listing things you're thankful for, even something as simple as a peaceful morning or a loved one's smile. Write down 3 things you've always wanted to do but haven't dared to try, and start today, even with just a small step. Awareness of life's finiteness not only helps you let go of what doesn't matter, but also encourages you to focus on what truly does. Let each day be an opportunity to love, to create, and to live more fully, because when you live with an understanding of life's limits, every moment becomes priceless. Death is not just an ending, it is a reminder that life is not infinite. Reflecting on death does not weaken us, it makes us stronger. It gives us the strength to let go of what doesn't matter, to forgive mistakes, and to cherish what we have. Imagine that each morning is a chance to be reborn. You are given one more day to love, to create, and to live wholeheartedly. When faced with petty worries or trivial disputes, ask yourself, does this truly matter if I might not be here tomorrow? Memento Mori is not about obsessing over death. It is about freeing yourself from what is unimportant. It gives you the courage to live authentically, to spend time on what matters most, and to ensure that no moment goes unappreciated. When you live with an awareness of life's finiteness, you don't just exist, you truly live. Let death teach you how to love life more deeply, and let it guide you to become the person you're proud to be when looking back on your journey. Number 9. Avoid imaginary fears. Most of the suffering we endure does not stem from reality, but from the negative scenarios our minds create. We often worry about what could happen rather than focusing on what is actually happening. Stoic philosophy reminds us that imaginary fears not only waste time, but also weaken our mental strength, binding us to things that have not yet occurred. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." This statement is profoundly relevant in modern life. Think about the times you've excessively worried about an important meeting, a presentation, or a social event. Your mind constantly conjures worst-case scenarios: failure, embarrassment, or rejection. But when the event actually happens, it is often far less intimidating than you imagined. In fact, you might even perform better than expected. Imagine you're preparing for a job interview. You feel anxious, wondering if you'll be able to answer tough questions or fearing that you'll be judged poorly. But instead of dwelling on these negative scenarios, you can focus on preparation, researching the company, practicing responses, and getting into the right mindset. When the interview happens, you find that everything flows more smoothly than you anticipated, and the prior anxiety turns out to be purely a product of your imagination. When you feel anxious, ask yourself, what is the worst-case scenario I'm imagining? Is it realistic? Instead of being consumed by negative thoughts, focus on specific steps you can take to improve the situation. For example, if you're worried about a presentation, spend more time rehearsing instead of dwelling on the possibility of failure. Remind yourself that fears born of imagination rarely come true. Make a list of times in the past when you worried excessively, and note how most of the negative scenarios you envisioned never actually materialized. Why do we so easily fall into the trap of imaginary fears? Because our minds are wired to focus on threats, whether they are real or not. This ancient survival mechanism often backfires in modern life, making us more anxious than prepared. Stoic philosophy doesn't teach you to ignore all risks, but to distinguish between rational fears and irrational ones. When you recognize that most of what you worry about is unlikely to happen, you'll feel lighter, less anxious, and more focused on living fully in the present. Remember, real life doesn't exist in the scenarios you imagine, but in the moments you actually experience. Instead of fearing what hasn't happened, channel your energy into action, preparation, and engagement. You'll find that overcoming fear not only brings peace, but also makes you more confident and resilient in every situation. Number 10. Prioritize relationships. Amid the fast pace of modern life, we often forget that true happiness doesn't come from material success or fleeting fame. It resides in meaningful relationships with family, friends, and those who love us unconditionally. These are the people who provide support, inspiration, and the deepest sense of purpose in our lives. Seneca once reminded us, "Associate with those who will make you a better person." This is not just advice on choosing friends wisely, but also a reminder that every beautiful relationship has the power to uplift our spirits, help us grow, and guide us through life's storms. In the embrace of loved ones, we find not only comfort, but also the encouragement to become the best version of ourselves. Imagine a family dinner where everyone gathers around the table. No phones, no work interruptions, just laughter, familiar stories, and warm, meaningful exchanges. These are not just simple moments. They are where love is nurtured, where you deeply feel that you are not alone in this world. Now think about the times you postponed calling your parents, left apologies unsaid to a dear friend, or missed opportunities to play with your kids because you were caught up in work. We often forget that the time we have with those we love is finite, and every missed moment is something we can never get back. Make time for the people who matter. Sometimes a weekend meal together or a short phone call is enough to rekindle connection. When you talk, truly listen. Set aside your phone, forget your worries, and let your soul be fully present. Sincere words, empathetic glances, or even a simple nod of understanding can touch someone's heart more deeply than you might realize. Don't wait for a special occasion to express love or gratitude. A simple, "Mum, I love you," or "Thank you for always being there, Dad," can be a priceless gift, far greater than anything material. Ask yourself, if today were the last day you could spend with your loved ones, what would you do differently? Would you hold your child a little longer? Listen to a friend's story with undivided attention? Or look at your parents with gratitude for their silent sacrifices over the years? Time waits for no one, and the people you love won't always be there. Don't let regret creep in after they're gone, because you missed too many chances to love, share, and say what needed to be said. Stoic philosophy teaches that relationships are the most valuable treasure a person can possess. When you prioritize these relationships, you not only enrich your own life, but also leave lasting memories in the hearts of those who love you. Start today. A hug, a word of thanks, or simply your genuine presence can make a profound difference. In the arms of those you love, life becomes more meaningful, not because of what you have, but because of who has always been there for you. Number 11. Never stop seeking wisdom. True growth doesn't come from accumulating wealth or achieving success, but from continually learning and sharpening the mind. Stoic philosophy emphasizes that living a meaningful life means embarking on a lifelong journey of discovery and learning. Wisdom is not a destination, but a path that requires humility and a thirst for understanding. Seneca once said, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." This quote reminds us that none of us is ever fully complete. Life always has something new to teach, as long as we are willing to listen. The key is to keep your mind open, remain curious, and challenge what you think you know in order to grow every day. Think about a time when you read a book, listened to a podcast, or spoke with someone whose views differed from your own. At first, you might have felt uncomfortable or skeptical, but eventually you realized that their perspective enriched your understanding and helped you see things from a different angle. For instance, someone advocating for minimalism might inspire you to simplify your own life, or a conversation with someone from another culture could broaden your worldview. Why is the pursuit of wisdom so important? Because it not only expands your knowledge, but also cultivates humility. A wise person never believes they know everything. They understand that there is always more to learn. Stoic philosophy doesn't encourage gathering knowledge just to show off, but to use it to live a better life. When you learn, you not only improve yourself, but also gain the ability to help and guide those around you. View life as a never-ending school, where each day is a lesson and everyone you meet is a teacher. Wise individuals don't simply ask, "What do I already know?" but also, "What can I learn from this moment?" The journey to seek wisdom is never easy, but it is the path that leads to deeper understanding of yourself and the world. Start with small steps. Read a book, engage in a conversation, or explore a new idea every day. That's how you not only live, but truly live a meaningful life. Number 12. Live authentically. True happiness doesn't lie in applause or the societal standards imposed upon you. Happiness comes when you look back on your life and know you've lived true to yourself, without pretenses, regrets, or hiding any part of who you are. Stoic philosophy reminds us that a life worth living is one guided by your truest values, even if that means standing apart from the crowd. Marcus Aurelius said, "Be like the rock that the waves keep crashing over. It stands unmoved." This quote is a call to stand firm amidst life's storms, against pressure, judgment, and temptations to change who you truly are. Living authentically is not selfish. It is an act of courage. It takes bravery to reject becoming the version of yourself others expect, and instead live according to what you believe matters most. Imagine you have a passion for music, but life's pressures have pushed you into a stable office job. One day, you decide to dedicate one evening a week to playing music. At first, you may feel afraid, fear of failure or of being judged by others. But as the first notes ring out from your instrument, you feel pure joy, the joy of being true to yourself. It's not just music, it's your soul speaking freely. Start by exploring the values that truly define you. Ask yourself, what makes me feel alive? Am I living in alignment with those values? Write down your answers and revisit them often to guide your life. Then take action, even if it's just 15 minutes a day, to pursue your passions. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Life won't wait until you're ready. Finally, embrace your uniqueness. The world doesn't need another copy. It needs you, a unique and meaningful individual. Many people are afraid to live authentically because they fear judgment, inadequacy, or loneliness. But the truth is, when you abandon yourself to please others, that's when you feel the loneliest. Not only do you lose yourself, but you also miss the chance for those who truly appreciate you to find you. Living authentically is not just a choice, it's an obligation to yourself and to this life. When you live true to yourself, you create an example that inspires others to find the courage to do the same. Imagine you're writing the story of your life. How will the final chapter read? Will it be a tale of bravery, of dreams pursued, or will it be filled with regrets for letting fear hold you back from living authentically? When you live authentically, you not only find happiness within, but also inspire those around you. Be a beacon of light in the darkness, fueled by honesty and courage. For it's only when you live true to yourself that you truly live. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope the Stoic principles we've explored have inspired you and will help you face life's challenges with strength and serenity. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like it to support us and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss out on more valuable content. Your support is our greatest motivation to continue bringing meaningful lessons. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you, and see you in the next video.